Hello, my dear friends. My dear friends, I am once again back with some very important, you can say that, pieces of information related to one among the greatest novelists of 20th century from America, and that novelist is none other than William Faulkner. William Faulkner, very important novelist from America, particularly of the 20th century. This novelist is the part of the PGT English syllabus in Uttar Pradesh. So the information that I'm going to give you just about about this novelist, William Faulkner, will will be very important for those aspirants or those preparators for UPPGT, just English, just you can say this competitive examination that is probably scheduled to be held in April. So let's look at these very important bullet points on William Faulkner. Very important. Once again, I would like to tell you that very important, just a novelist, and the points, the facts that I have brought for you will be just a proof, turning just a point in just cracking this upcoming just a UPPGT examination. And apart from UPPGT examination, these these important pieces of information will be very important for those who are the just a student of literature, or those who are doing their UG or PG and actually are wishing to plan for preparing certain just a competitive examination where English literature is the part of the syllabus. So without any further ado, let's look at these very important bullet points on William Faulkner. See this. Full name of William Faulkner is William Cuthbert Faulkner. B stands for birth, 25th September 1897 in New Albany in the state of Mississippi. Remember that Mississippi is a southern US state, and in this southern US state that is Mississippi, there is a county, Lafayette County, Lafayette, Lafayette, where William Faulkner spent most of the years of his own life. But here he does not straightway make mention of Lafayette, but instead he has created a county, that is Yokneam County. Most of his novels are set in this county, that is Yokneam County in Mississippi. And remember, Yokneam County in Mississippi is an imaginary county, and this county Yokneam stands for Lafayette, where again I'm telling you, where Faulkner spent most of the important productive years of his own life. So this novelist, born 25th September 1897 in New Albany in the state of Mississippi, Mississippi, Once again, I would like to tell you, Mississippi is a southern state of America, where or in this state there is a place, Lafayette, Lafayette, where Faulkner spent most of the productive years of his own life, or spent most of the years of his own life, or lived for a long time there. And in order to show that Lafayette County, he just created an imaginary county that he calls Yoknapatawpha. So Faulkner was born 25th September 1897 in New Albany in the state of Mississippi. Remember, southern US state. Second very important thing, that Faulkner represents southern US state. Remember that. Next important point, father. F stands for father. Murray C. Faulkner. Remember this. See here, U in William Faulkner's name, U here missing. Why? Because once the publisher by mistake added U to the name of William Faulkner. Since then he started using U in the spelling of his own name, but the name of his father did not have that U that the name of William Faulkner had or has. So father, Murray C. Faulkner. Mother, Maud Butler. Remember that. M stands for mother. Now W stands for wife. Lida Still Oldham Franklin. Remember, there's the full name. Lida Still Oldham Franklin. Faulkner married Lida Still Oldham Franklin probably on 20th June 1929, the year his very, very important novel, probably the Sachinsir, was published. So, just Lida Still Oldham Franklin was the woman Faulkner married on probably, again I'm telling you, probably 20th June 1929. Why? Because this was the time, when just Lida Still Oldham Franklin took divorce from her colonel husband and got married just William Faulkner, and came in the life of William Faulkner with the two children from the colonel, and Faulkner accepted. Why? Because just Still Oldham Franklin was the childhood or the youth age sweetheart of William Faulkner. So, wife Lida Still Oldham Franklin, married 20th June 1929. Now, alma mater, the place or the just educational institution, just Faulkner just got the degrees, was University of Mississippi. Next, influence. The influence on the life of William Faulkner. It is but natural that the authors, young budding just authors, have the just influence of the veteran bygone years authors. Same was the case with William Faulkner, or same was the case with William Faulkner. William Faulkner just was very much influenced by William Shakespeare. Then we have James Joyce, then T.S. Eliot, and so on and so forth. So Shakespeare had great just influence on or the work of Shakespeare had great influence on Faulkner, then James Joyce, then T.S. Eliot, then so many others you can say. But these three figures were very, very important just in the life of William Faulkner, you can say that. See, this is not just, I think, a correct piece of information, but you need to remember that probably just the Faulkner gets the credit of writing just 20 novels. See, if I say 20 novels, it does not mean it is 100% sure. Some books say 18 novels, some other books say 20 novels, but I don't think such kind of a factual information will pop up as a question in the competitive examinations. So by and large he wrote 20 novels. So 20 novels, again 90 short stories, again this is not 100% just sure. 50 poems, again simply it is assumption. Why? Because just this book says this number, that book says that number. So simply it is assumption. On the basis of that I have just made this point here mentioned. So approx 20 novels, 90 short stories, 50 poems. This fact is very, very important. Remember that. Nobel Prize for his huge contribution for his huge contribution to literature, you can say this highest honor came to William Faulkner in the year 1949. Remember that. That body from Stockholm declared that the Nobel Prize of 1949 in the field of English literature was awarded or given to William Faulkner. But remember, Faulkner did not just receive the honor or award in the year he was declared by the jury. Actually, he got the award or he received the award in the next year, means 1950. Remember that. So, he was declared to win the Nobel Prize in 1949, but he received the award in the year 1950. That is a very important piece of information, bear in mind. Next, Philip Stone. This person very, very important in the early career of William Faulkner. Why? Because this Philip Stone somehow encouraged and and all the time just somehow inspired William Faulkner to work and grow as a novelist or as a writer. So Philip Stone just here encourage, remember that, encourage, ENCOURAGED. So Philip Stone encouraged him in his early career and worked as his mentor to help him grow as a writer. So remember that in his early career, Philip Stone just worked a lot, encouraged Faulkner a lot, and helped just Faulkner a lot become a writer. Next very important facts. S. Anderson, remember that S stands for Sherwood Anderson, inspired him to write novels. Remember that. Philip Stone encouraged him to grow, encouraged and helped him to grow as a writer. Whereas Sherwood Anderson, he was a friend to William Faulkner. He encouraged William Faulkner to become novelist, to wrote novels. Remember the novels. So, Sherwood Anderson inspired Faulkner to write novels. Next, very important fact, got the job of a university post office, but was forced to resign. So later on in his career, he got the job in the post office of a university, but he could not continue. He couldn't just do their job for a long time. Why? Because he was in habit of reading on duty. Since he was in habit of reading on duty, very soon the university authority forced just Faulkner to resign the job. So his work as a worker in the post office of the university was very short, you can say, or his career as a worker in the post office of a university was very short. Why? Because he was forced by the university authority to resign the job. Why? Because time and again Faulkner was just found guilty of reading on duty. Next very important, you see this, we have, see the techniques he just actually uses in his novels and in his short stories. That is all about stream of consciousness technique, imagery, symbolism used in his work. So Faulkner uses symbolism, imagery, and stream of just consciousness in his novels and in his short stories. Then, very important, most of his novels, remember that most of his works set in Yoknapatawpha County, fictional, remember that, Yoknapatawpha County, a fictional county created by William Faulkner, where he sets most of his own novels, and Yoknapatawpha stands for Lafayette, just a county in southern US state, that is Mississippi. Mississippi, you know, that is the river that flows to the west of the southern Mississippi. So stream of consciousness technique, imagery, symbolism used in his work. So he uses stream of consciousness, imagery, symbolism in his work. Work set in Yoknapatawpha County, fictional county, remember the fictional place. Then identified with Mississippi. Remember that? Mississippi, a southern US state, and he identifies himself with southern state of America. Remember that time and again. This question has been asked in the competitive examinations like PGT and so on and so forth. So, identified with Mississippi and represents Southern America. Remember, the southern state of America. Worked as a screenwriter in Hollywood in 1930. This is also very important. Just a factual question. You see that he moved to Hollywood to become the screenwriter in 1930, but he couldn't stay there for a long time and got back to the novel writing soon. Next, 2 Pulitzer Awards, very important. Faulkner just bagged two Pulitzer Awards, one for his just a novel, a fable, and the other for a probably short story. See this short story, this 2 Pulitzer Awards, first in 1955 for a fable, a novel, and second for the river. This is also the novel, remember that, 1963, the last published work of Faulkner, remember that. So Faulkner won or bagged 2 Pulitzer, one for a fable, first for a fable, that was a novel, second for the rivers, the last published just a novel or the work from the pen of William Faulkner in 1963, posthumously. Posthumously means second Pulitzer that he bagged or that he won for the rivers, that was the last published work from Faulkner. All right. When he just this the Pulitzer was given to his novel or given to him for his last work, that is the Rivers, at that time Faulkner was dead. So Faulkner got this award posthumously after his death. After the death of Faulkner, the certain body of the Columbia University that gave the Pulitzer Award, even today, just gave him this award for his last published work, The Rivers. Remember that. So, first Pulitzer Award came for a fable in 1955, second for The Rivers 1963, posthumously, both novels. Next, 2 National Book Awards. He got 2 National Book Awards as well. Remember that. 2 Pulitzer, one for a fable 1955 and second for his last published novel, that is The Rivers. Apart from these 2 Pulitzer, he won or bagged 2 National Book Awards. 2 National Book Awards. First in 1951 for collected stories. Second, 1955 for a fable. So remember that. For a fable in 1955, he won the Pulitzer as well as National Book Award. And what he said, that is very, very important, you see. What he said, a whorehouse provides the ideal setting for a writer to work. So it was the opinion, that was the opinion of William Faulkner, that the whorehouse, you know, there's the house of the prostitutes, Whore means prostitute. So he said, this was the opinion, he said in an interview that the whorehouse is a perfect place for a creative writer like a novelist or the author to just to write for, that is, provide the ideal setting for a writer to work, according to Faulkner. William Cowley was his critic. Remember that William Cowley was Faulkner's critic. Next we have Faulkner read Don Quixote every year like the Bible. That is very, very important fact, that if there was any work that William Faulkner read almost every year, just like the Bible, that was Don Quixote. That is very important. Remember that. Sorry, this is Don Quixote. Next, joined the club Sigma, Alpha and Epsilon. So he became the part of a certain club, this Sigma, Alpha and Epsilon. Now see, from here, very, very important. Why? Because now we are going to look at the great works of William Faulkner, and the most important, or the first work of William Faulkner, the first novel of William Faulkner was A Soldier's Pay. Sorry, only Soldier's Pay. Soldier's Pay, first novel, 1926. Remember that. Just Faulkner's first novel came in the year 1926. That was Soldier's Pay. Next one, Mosquitoes, 1927. Satirical novel. Remember that, second novel of William Faulkner. Mosquitoes, 1927. A satirical novel. Third, probably Sartorius or Flag in the Dust, 1928-1929. After that, very important, remember that this novel very, very important, The Sound and the Fury, 1929, all about the Compson family. All about the Compson family, Mrs. and Mr. Compson, with 3 sons probably, and a daughter, Cadence. This is very, very important novel, and in this novel he has made use of a stream of consciousness technique. This novel is divided into, remember that, in 4 parts. Remember that here, not 3. Novel is divided into 4 parts. First part is narrated by Benjamin, a very important character of this novel, that is The Sound and the Fury. And one thing very important, The Sound and the Fury, the title of the novel, taken from William Shakespeare's tragedy Macbeth. In Shakespeare's Macbeth, in the probably 5th act, and in certain scene, when Macbeth, the central character, the protagonist, the eponymous character of the drama, receives the news of the death of his wife, Lady Macbeth, he does just burst into a soliloquy, and in that soliloquy he says the last part of the soliloquy I'm telling you, or the certain part of the soliloquy I'm telling you, from where the title is taken, that life is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifies nothing. So remember that the title, just William Faulkner, this title just William Faulkner took from Shakespeare's Macbeth. Remember that. So The Sound and the Fury, 1929 novel, title taken from Shakespeare's Macbeth. This novel is divided into 4 parts. The first part is, in the first part, we hear the voice of a man, that is Benjamin. Whereas the second part, Quentin, very important character of this novel, Quentin. He is the just eldest. He is the eldest of He is the eldest among the Mr. and Mrs. Compson children, who later on commits suicide by drowning himself in a certain river, because somehow he develops a kind of a misconception that he has committed incest. It's all because of that. He puts an end to his own life by drowning himself in a river. So second part of the novel, just narrated by Quentin, third part Jason, and fourth Faulkner himself. So the first part of The Sound and the Fury, Benjamin. Second part, Quentin. Third part, Jason. Last but not the least, fourth part, narrated by William Faulkner himself. Next, As I Lay Dying, another very important novel, 1930, title taken from Homer's Odyssey. Remember that, Homer's epic Odyssey, the title is taken from this title, As I Lay Dying. This title is taken from Homer's Odyssey. And Faulkner calls this just a novel tour de force. Remember that, tour de force he calls it. Next novel, Sanctuary, 1931, that is called a pulp fiction novel by a certain critic that I don't remember. Next novel, Light in August, 1932, Pylon, based on the pilots, 1935. Absalom, 1936, The Unvanquished, 1938, The Hamlet, 1940, Go Down Moses, 1942, that is Go Down Moses, episodic novel, Intruder in the Dust, 1948, and one thing remember, The Unvanquished, remember, first, then Hamlet second, then The Town third. Set of 3 novels known as Faulkner's trilogy. A set of 3 novels is called trilogy. Trilogy, trilogy. So The Unvanquished, The Hamlet, and The Town. These are the 3 novels that make Faulkner's trilogy, that make Faulkner trilogy. So remember that. So Go Down Moses, episodic novel, Intruder in the Dust, 1948, Requiem for a Nun, 1951. Requiem is a kind of a church ceremony in which people just pray pray for the just departed soul of a certain person, that the soul of that person may rest in peace. So church ceremony. Then a fable, 1954, and for this novel, sorry, he won the second, sorry, yes, he won the just first Pulitzer and the first National Book Award. Then the Town, 1957, part of the trilogy, Hamlet, this the Unvanquished, Hamlet and the Town, 1957. Then the Mansion, 1959. The Rivers, last published novel, a picaresque novel, remember that. Picaresque term comes from picaro. Picaro is a Spanish term that means a rogue. Rogue, a kind of a person with lots of negativities and lots of just you can say, yes, lots of negativities, or having just having not a good character or having no good qualities at all. So this novel, The Rivers, 1962, last published novel. It is a picaresque. I told you picaresque word comes from picaro, Spanish word that means a rogue. Now poetry. Yes, apart from writing novels, Faulkner wrote good good numbers good number of poetry, like poetry first, Vision in Spring, collection of poems, 1921, Marble Fawn, again collection of poems, 1924, poem. Then A Green Bough, 1933, again a collection of poems. Next, This Earth, a poem, 1932. Mississippi Poems, Helen, a Courtship and Mississippi Poems. Now the short stories. Short stories also very important, from the pen of William Cuthbert Faulkner. First, very important, just short stories are A Rose for Emily, Red Leaves, That Evening Sun, Dry September. These are certain very important, actually just a short stories from the pen of William Faulkner. See, William Faulkner, Faulkner died of massive heart attack on 6 July 1962 in Byhalia, Mississippi, in the United States of America. That's it in this video, my dear friends. I hope the information provided by me to you will be proved very important in actually helping you cracking the upcoming different just competitive examinations, particularly just UP-PGT, where Faulkner is a very important part of the syllabus, and examination like UGCNET, so on and so forth, my dear friends. Thank you, my dear friends, for watching.